Hi, my name is Nada Sebit and I'm the Artistic Director of Noon Creative Enterprise. This is a very special training for English language teachers on how to create scenes with their students. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 techniques that you can use with your student. Before we do that, we'll start with a few warming up exercises that you can use in the middle of sessions or as a build-up for scene development. What we'll basically do is we're going to start with breathing exercises and voice warm-ups, as that'll help students be able to project and also speak without tearing their vocal cords. It also works on confidence when you breathe and stand properly. I guess that would also be useful for presentation skills and anytime they need to speak in front of an audience for any reason. The second group of exercises are about space and spatial awareness, and also team building and more group cohesion. Third group of exercises has to do with energizers and meditation. There are 3 different techniques we're going to discover in the video for scene development. The first one is kind of the simplest, through statues or creating still images, so more using the body and less using words. And from that we'll move into using storytelling as a method to create scenes, where a storyteller starts telling a story and the other students in the room start creating the characters and the scenes present in the story. Third technique requires writing, where groups decide on a topic and tell stories within that topic and then merge all the stories together to get one bigger, more complex story. We'll divide that into scenes and kind of use the older techniques again, so they'll create statues or images with the key points in the story, and then as these images start to move, the scenes start to become more present. So basically what we're going to ask you to do and tell students to do to be able to breathe and enunciate and have power in their voice is that they start breathing from their diaphragms, which is a bit the opposite of everything we have learned in life. So your belly sticks out when you breathe in. I find the easiest way to get students to understand the concept is to ask them to place their hand on their belly, actually right above their belly button, and to push their hand out as they breathe in, and then aid by pushing their hand slightly for the air to come out as they breathe out. Kind of continue to do that a few times until it's more comfortable and easy. And from that, I would start moving to how to create sound. And these could be just sounds, so just making e, like the vowel sounds come in handy. We play around which part of the body vibrates, to begin to understand that the body is full of cavities, and to fill the different cavities with air and which sound kind of resonates where in the body. From that, we will move into actually saying sentences, and I find that tongue twisters are a fun game to play because they're longer sentences and they require that you enunciate.
She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are nice seashells, I'm sure.
The next sequence of exercises are about space. Theater happens in a space, and it's important for students to understand their relationship with each other in the space and how to negotiate that. I also cheat and use it as a warm-up because then students are moving already. First exercise is just about walking in space and understanding how their relationship with each other affects the space. So we basically try and fill the room with our bodies in a walk and freeze kind of exercise. So I will shout walk and everyone will start walking around the room and they have to fill in the empty spaces in the room. And then I will shout freeze and everyone kind of has to freeze exactly where they are so they can look and see if they really are filling the space or not. The second exercise on space, which can also be used as an energizing game, is to get students to stop and freeze and then to add in jump and sit. And a variation of that can be that we start switching the meaning. So when I say freeze, they actually have to walk. And when I say walk, they have to freeze. When I say sit, they have to jump, and when I say jump, they have to sit down. And this is used for also to warm up the body in space, so you use different levels, but also to get the energy flowing and get people to move around in space at different speeds without bumping into each other. Third, space exercise is not really about space as much as it's about group cohesion. It's about how a group of people acting in one space can really pay attention and be aware of each other's actions and where they are in the space. So students are told to walk around in the space, and then the group has to decide when they stop and when they start moving again. And what usually typically happens is one person will stop and the rest will follow. And the next comment would be that, okay, so it's great, now the group has to try and do that without one person leading. And slowly, every time they do it, they become more in sync. And the group kind of learns to stop and move all together with no one shouting out stop or go, and with no one taking the lead per se. And variations of that would be that they could then do the jump and sit down also, or to stand in different formations. So the group can only stand in a circle or in a straight line or in a circle and a straight line. And the group kind of has to figure out, without speaking at all, without trying to tell each other anything, how to create these formations and really kind of listen. I would use an energizer to get the group energy up. This would typically happen if there's a lunch break or people have eaten, or if we're going to spend a large portion of time doing a lot of brainy work. So before a long writing exercise, I would do a really high energy game, just to get everyone's adrenaline up, and then people can sit down for longer periods of time. For more meditative and breathing exercises, I would actually do them at the beginning. So a quick tap of the body or a little massage where everyone does their own body really quickly will help kind of ground the group and calm people's energy down. The first technique for scene development is actually the simplest and is created through statues. So the first thing students need to realize is that there are different levels to statues in space. So you can do things that happen up here where you kind of extend the body up, yeah? And then there's the level of standing, there's an intermediate level here, and there's sitting on the ground, all the way to lying down. And students are encouraged to just explore these different levels with their body to begin with. And from that, we would then ask students to step in one at a time and create a statue, and then start building on each other's statues. So the group becomes one statue made up of lots of bodies. And as that's happening, I would then encourage students and spectators to kind of see how the story or my understanding of what I see changes as different people enter into the statue. And from that, I would then tap one person at a time and ask them who they are in that statue. Who are you?
أنا بحاول أمنعها من إيديها تتأكل من الأسد اللي في القفص.
And you?
أنا كنت معدية وعندي فضول أشوف إيه اللي بيحصل.
أنا شايفة ضوء في النفق وعايزة أوصله.
So then a scene with a location with the dynamic between the different bodies starts to appear, and we play with that for a while, and then we do the opposite. We pick a topic and see how we can create a statue or a non-moving image with our bodies within that topic. And I usually challenge students as they go, I don't see how that'll happen, and I go, okay, well, pick any topic. So topics that have been picked are like crime, harassment, and within that, everyone kind of jumps in. From that, with the tapping technique, they start to say who they are, and then the statue can then move. So from a fixed image, you then start getting a dynamic scene.
شعرك ده انت لو لماه ما كانش حد بصلك، ما تشتكيش بقى.
انت حد قالك قبل كده ان عينيكي جميله قوي؟
تستاهلي كل اللي يحصل. تستاهلي.
انت مرتبطه؟
عشان انت
انتي
عارفه
متجوزة؟
زي المصاصه المكشوفه كده الدبان يجي عليها.
انت جميله.
وانت لو ساتره روحك ما كانش حد بصلك.
انت مرتبطه بحد؟
اتكلم ولا اقول حاجه ولا اسكت؟
انت جميله قوي قوي.
تتكلمي تقولي ايه؟ ليكي عين تتكلمي اصلا؟
انا عايزه اقول حاجه.
هتقولي ايه؟ سمعيني انت.
زهقت من الكلام وفي الاخر محدش هيعمل.
That'll be the end for this video. So one technique of using statues to create scripts, and please watch our next video for 2 other techniques, one using storytelling and the other one using writing. Thank you.